I'm a large small child.
Right on. So, seen any interesting decks around? Where have you played against anything kind of interesting?
Not really. I played against.
So we have Brandon Limbaugh and Kurt Spiess here.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. No, it's Leonhardt. That is not.
You were
Brandon
real
Limbaugh.
close, Rashad.
Like it's
Really
L-E
close.
and it ends with a T. That's as much as I got right. So, you got Kurt though. There you go. Very nice. It's all right. We make mistakes and we correct ourselves. That's what you do.
Oh, this
Right?
Brandon's actually playing an interesting little brew.
There's Brendan right there. Ready to roll
So
in a classic
it looks like he has.
Oh,
it
what
looks
is
like
that purple
he's
and
going to
silver
look.
shirt? Kurt looks ridiculous.
Asked us not to badmouth him, so it's Joe.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no. Kurt looks absolutely
Pencil behind
horrific
his
in
ear,
that.
one of the
No,
three
no,
things
he
to know about
he looks
trying
like
to
an
look smart.
amateur.
From Gerard Fabiano's thing.
Okay, so what Brandon is going to try and do is cast reasonable sized creatures like Kavu Predator, which doesn't seem that reasonable at first, but I think you know where this is going. Knight of the Reliquary and Tarmogoyf. Fiery Justice away his opponent's board. He has 4 Green Sun Zenith for all manner of creatures, up to and including Vexing Shusher, Terastodon, and Thrun the Last Troll.
That's fantastic.
And has Natural Order for Terastodon and Progenitus. And also has a Punishing Fire Grove of the Burn Willows board control engine.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So this should be a good green mid-range versus green mid-range matchup here.
This will be fun. So we've got Mother of Runes.
Mother of Runes off of Scrubland and Savannah into Tega for Brandon. And Punishing Fire, bang. Yeah,
Right away.
that's a little demoralizing. That seems like a key card in his matchup. No, you can't do that. You don't get last cut. Right.
Huh.
And we'll shuffle again, and I'll cut your deck, and this time you won't last cut it. So we have Stoneforge Mystic, Wasteland, Caracas Forest, and Mangara and something else in Kurt's hand. Oh, and another Mother of Runes. He's probably going to run out the Stoneforge Mystic here. What do I do against this Punishing Fire? This is bad. All my guys are X1s.
Yeah.
Well.
Not to mention that Brandon has the Grove of the Burn Willows in hand.
Oh, Kasali Pride Mage. That was the last card.
Yeah.
Wow, this is going to... Yeah, so Brandon, instead of killing the Kasali Pride Mage, opts to just cast Knight of the Reliquary and pass the turn.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, Kurt draws Swords to Plowshares. Swords
So we've
is...
got Punishing Fire Grove combo online already.
Wow.
On Brandon's side.
Yeah, Punishing Fire on the play is not so good for Mother of Runes.
Wow.
Well, fortunately, the Wasteland.
And Wasteland, yeah, so no value from that Punishing Fire so far. So we have Sword...
Kurt even said that's why he wanted to play the deck because of Mother of Runes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we have Swords, Natural Order, Windswept Heath, and one other card in Brandon's deck. In Brandon's hand.
Kurt Spiess may be the palest person on planet Earth.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
He's ghastly.
That's terrible.
And there's also the cute interaction between Swords to Plowshares and Punishing Fire. It turns out that Grove of the Burn Willows isn't the only way to get your Punishing Fire back. If you sword to your opponent's creature, then you can pay the red, they gain life, and you get your Punishing Fire back. It's all the little interactions.
Right.
Of course, I like a Fiery Justice here. But I think that might just be a little overkill. And Brandon's deck looks to be pretty well positioned in this matchup. It's just full of a bunch of 2-for-1s, an insane late game, and I'm pretty sure if Kurt doesn't cast the Swords to Plowshares in his hand right now, he's about to stare down a 10-10. He has to fetch the Dryad Arbor on end step because it's affected by Summoning Sickness. So, draws his card, and Brandon tanks for a while. He's going to play the Mountain, and boom. Yeah, nice Progenitus. And that's a pretty ironic Caracas in Kurt's hand. Pretty good against Emrakul, not so good. Terastodon. Okay.
Yeah, we were all expecting him to get.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
Terastodon.
Terastodon, the 9/9 blows up to 3 things. Its controller gets an elephant for each thing that's blown up. So he's gonna. Let's see what he targets. This is a little odd. I mean, he's about to gain 9 life, but he's not going to put Kurt out of the game.
He looks like he's trying to decide how he wants to.
He didn't draw his Progenitus, did he?
I don't know.
I didn't see it.
I was like, how is he gonna get Emrakul off of
No.
Progenitus, right?
So it looks like it was 2 lands and we're gonna find out. Elephant.
Yeah, it was 2 of Kurt's lands. And Kurt didn't cast...
Didn't cast the Swords of Plowshares?
Oh, no. Oh, that's because it's a Maelstrom... Is that a Maelstrom Pulse?
And she's got Aether Vial.
Aether Vial, Caracas. I mean, regardless of what Kurt has, I don't know what he's afraid of. That he's currently playing around with his Terastodon play. I mean, like, he still loses to Diabolic Edict. He's losing to Maelstrom Pulse and Swords to Plowshares anyway. He's not really getting beaten down in any real fashion. Yeah, okay.
Fiery Justice.
Fiery Justice kills the Kasali Pride Mage and an Elephant. And Kurt goes up to 25.
Draft open, players. Hearings for your next round have been posted.
And then
Please check those hearings.
attack will bring him down to 14.
16.
25, 16, yeah.
What is that under the word series?
I'm gonna find out.
Aether Vial.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So he has Sword of Fire and Ice, Maelstrom Pulse, Mangara, and Knight of the Reliquary.
Okay.
Seems like the best line of play there.
Is that actually an elephant?
Well, it's some. I think it is a proper elephant, but it's at least a card-shaped token that you can turn sideways.
Is that a Thoughtseize you just drew? I think so.
Yeah, that's definitely Thoughtseize. But he's on green and white. I mean, if he ever peels a fetch land, he's right back in this with Pulse on Terastodon.
Yeah, he equips up the elephants. He's got a 5/5 pro-blue, pro-red elephant, which isn't really, well, I mean, the red is relevant.
It's not really relevant right now.
Yeah, it's not relevant.
You guys are the worst.
We are.
Thanks. We try very hard. I aim to try. That's my motto.
You aim to try.
That's my motto.
What you're trying for, no one knows.
Green Suns.
Green Sun for 2 could get Tarmogoyf. There we go.
Goyf.
Seems like a good play. I mean, Goyf's got to be pretty big at this point. It's definitely land creature.
Yeah, that is a formidable attack squad. And I think Kurt's just dead to absolutely everything.
Yeah.
I mean, even if he rips Pulse here, or rips Swords, he's going to be able to Violin Mangara. Oh, another Mangara. Yeah. Personally, I don't like Mangara.
Kurt doesn't either, I don't think. He was kind of saying it's a little slow.
Yeah, it's a very slow card. It does nothing unless you get it active. And there are better 3-drops that I would want active in this format. Knight of the Reliquary, for instance.
Well, let's hope that Kurt does not go to Raisin Bran Town this round. 2 scoops.
Oh, ha. Wow, you're just sitting there coming up with these, aren't you?
I'm just gonna roll
Just
with them.
innovating.
I'm just gonna roll with them the whole time.
Okay, so
Yeah, exactly.
in their sideboards, Brandon's options are pretty broad in terms of what he could bring in. He's probably bringing in 3 Fire Spout and 3 Umezawa's Jit. And he's probably cutting the 2 Pride Mages. And I mean, I don't know why he loves Terastodon so much. I would just set it up as a natural order deck. I'd probably cut the Vexing Shusher, the 2 Pride Mages, the Thrun, the Terastodon, and a Green Sun Zenith. But then again, I'm not the one sitting at that table.
I mean, the Shusher does seem absolutely useless in this situation.
The Pride Mage at least has marginal value. It blows up Ether Vial, but I mean, his deck is much better set up to deal with the things coming out of the Ether Vial than to trade the cards for the Ether Vial.
Right.
He also has just a better trump in terms of Progenitus.
Progenitus is pretty strong.
Yeah. So on Kurt's side, he doesn't have anything specifically good here. He has 2 Duress, he has 2 Maelstrom Pulse, and that's about it. He has 3 Kitchen Finks, but that card doesn't seem particularly stellar against a deck full of Punishing Fire, Kavu Predator, Knight of the Reliquary, and Tarmogoyf and Progenitus.
Yeah, I mean, there's a Bajuka Bog in there for Punishing Fires.
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, that's not good.
I mean,
but
yeah, no, it's not good. He has to tap his Grove of the Burn Willows before Kurt can get him with Bajuka Bog.
Yeah.
Kurt does have black in his deck. Someone just asked us this on Twitter. He has black in his deck for 4 Dark Confidant, 1 Maelstrom Pulse, 4 Thoughtseize, and in the board he has 2 Duress and 2 Maelstrom Pulse. So yes, Kurt definitely plays black. This is a black-green-white deck that, you know, think of junk, but instead of playing a bunch of discard spells like Hymn to Torok and Gerard's Verdict, it plays a more aggressive, creature-oriented plan of Mother of Runes and Mangara of Karandor and Caracas. So it has a cute sort of combo between Caracas. So you activate Mangara, and with the ability on the stack, you activate Caracas targeting Mangara, you bounce Caracas to your hand, and then you resolve Mangara's ability, which is, of course, remove it and the permanent from the game. And since the permanent is ostensibly still there, you remove that from the game, and Mangara can't be removed from the game. It's safely in your hand.
It's pretty awesome.
And then you vial it in and do it all over again.
So Curdy leads off with the same thing he left off with last time.
Ah, this time it's a Savannah into Mother of Runes. We're really mixing it up here.
Yeah, we were really mixing up Savannah earlier too.
So his hand looks like Wasteland, Knight of the Reliquary, Swords to Plowshares, Sword of Fire and Ice, and another Swords to Plowshares. So sword, Knight, and Wasteland. So he's gonna... Oh, and we have Green Sun Zenith for 0 from Brandon, which is going to jump him from 1 to 3 next turn, which is going to provide him a pretty relevant clock for interacting with Kurt's opener, should it be something like Mother of Runes into Dark Confidant.
Nice way to break the sword, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in a matchup that's likely to be about their 3s, getting to 3 first seems very, very good.
Yeah.
And there we go.
That will.
It's apparently that important.
Yeah.
That or Dryad Arbor has Provoke. Either way. So we have...
There's a gourd coming down.
Yeah.
God.
I'm gonna step out for a couple minutes.
Sure.
I'm starting to get yawny.
I'll grab this chair and use it there. So yeah, it looks like grabs a mountain and probably going with the Goyf. You think he swords the Goyf?
I mean, he has Knight of the Reliquary. Knight of the Reliquary's job is to be bigger than Tarmogoyf. I don't think that I would want to sword Tarmogoyf unless I was prepared to either have a very good plan against their Knight of the Reliquary or lose to it.
Right. So Wasteland and the
Yeah.
Knight of the Reliquary.
Right.
And that table just rocked a little bit. I don't know if somebody bumped into it or what.
And Knight is safe from punishing fire at being a 3/3. Not as safe from Fiery Justice. And here we have the Knight of the Reliquary back, and that's definitely going to eat a Swords to Plowshares. We have what looks like... Is that Stoneforge Mystic that you just drew?
I didn't. No,
Oh no,
he's
that's
another
another
sword.
sword.
Third sword, yeah.
So he still has 2 swords, Sword and Dark Confidant in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he can go Dark Confidant
into
Plow,
swords,
yeah.
and still hold up Plow if he leaves Knight untapped. Since I feel like at this point you don't want to be getting in attacks as much as you want to basically play defense, make your guy bigger, and then protection him in for a huge amount. Yeah, there we go.
There's the Plow.
And now that Tarmogoyf is... Yep. Main phase is interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I think
Yeah,
Kurt's pause here is indicating that he doesn't quite have as much of a plan about activating that knight as he maybe ought to have. So we have double Scrubland here.
Yeah. Did he? Yeah, he did. He just grabbed the fetch land, cracked the fetch land.
Yeah. Wasteland, you're saying?
yeah.
Ah, there you go. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. So that knight's pretty big, and
The knight's pretty big. I guess he's trying to mana screw his opponent. Judging correctly that if they both get to the long game, he's going to lose to Punishing Fire Grove with Burn Willows and Progenitus.
Speaking of Grove of the Burn Willows, I believe that's the top card in Brandon's hand.
It is. But it doesn't look like he has white mana.
Yeah.
Which could... So he has Fire, Zenith. Those are the 2 cards he's shuffling around. Looks like there's some life total mix-up.
Yeah. B. Gardner Dermott on Twitter pointed out that the 2 lands are Savannah and Scrubland that Kurt has in play. The art on those looks almost identical.
Very, very similar. But yeah, good catch.
So here's like a Bayou in his hand. Either that or just a revised farce. I have a feeling it's the Bayou, but...
And we have another Swords. Looks like he wants to start attacking.
Yeah, he wants to just swing past that Goyf rather than have it chump block.
Yeah. Or he doesn't want to open himself up to getting natural ordered next turn.
Yeah, that works too.
So we have Bayou, Ether Vial, Sword in hand.
Yeah, I believe so. So it looks like, wow, he just goes in with the
in
Bob.
with Bob. I guess he's planning on just knighting up another Wasteland and trying to mana screw him out of the game. Either that or it's cast Sword and pass.
Okay, he's just that knight is huge, but he's not attacking with it. So
I mean, he doesn't need to attack right now. Is the thing. Knight's beautiful as a card in Legacy because you can execute a ton of different game plans with it. You can get all the Wastelands in your deck and just knock them off of mana long enough that 2 swings or even 1 swing from Knight will kill them. All the while you get to play Magic, and it's basically acting as an elf. You know, adding +1 to your mana whenever you need it if you're not wastelanding something. And it looks like Brandon's going to spend 5 mana and give Kurt a life to make sure that Punishing Fire kills that Mother of Runes. Or he's tapping it so that he can go after the Knight of the Reliquary. But nope. Yep. There's the Punishing Fire again. Doesn't have the white. Don't think he has the Swords to Plowshares anyway.
So there's a Plains from Kurt.
Plains and Caracas.
Yeah.
So just blanks in hand. Plains, Caracas, Ether Vial. But it doesn't look like too bad of a board state for Kurt.
So he plays the Bayou, equips up the Bob.
And sends with both. It looks like Knight's going to be a 7/7. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. My guess is that he's...
It's definitely big. I mean, we've seen a lot of lands.
And Sword's going to basically contribute 4 points of damage between the pump and the trigger.
Right.
And is going to add a card to Kurt's hand. And that card is a second Dark Confidant. Second Dark Confidant. Wow. This is not looking good for Brandon.
Now he just ripped natural order, but does he have? What does he have? Oh,
he's just dead on board.
Yeah.
He can't kill that Knight.
Yeah, that's
the best that he could do would be Tarmogoyf, Trump Knight, and then he's right back at square one.
Right.
And he's gonna take 8 from those Bobs.
Yeah.
Between the 2/1 and the 4/3, and then the trigger.
Exactly. So that was a pretty decent plan from Kurt to basically just go with the kind of like the mana screw plan, pretty much, and that's after Brandon attempted to break serve with the Green Sun Zenith for the Dryad Arbor.
Yeah. No, the Swords to Plowshares on the Dryad Arbor was actually pretty crucial. If you look at it from a tempo perspective, Kurt had a sword that he didn't really have a use for in the moment, and would let his knight much more effectively manage the game state, and let his wasteland really knock his opponent off of the all-important 4 mana for natural order. Given that Kurt just has absolutely no outs to resolve natural order for Progenitus, except racing, it makes a lot of sense that his plan would be to use at least one of his 3 wastelands.
Yeah, keep the green creatures off the board, or keep the 4 mana off the board.
Yeah. And he did both very successfully that game.
Yeah. So it looks like Kurt seems to be making a few changes, maybe, or no, did he?
Yeah, he's re-sideboarding.
Yeah.
I think he's probably, if he hasn't cut all of the Mangaras, he's probably cutting the Mangaras and the Pride Mages for Duresses and... I mean, I wouldn't want the Mangaras at all, just because they're very, very slow, vulnerable to punishing fire, gives huge value to Fiery Justice. Kasali Pride Mage blows up the one of Sylvan Library in Brandon's deck that Kurt hasn't seen, and does nothing else except be a 2/2 with Exalted. And I definitely want the Duresses for, everything in his deck.
Yeah.
I guess probably bring in the Bog and the Maelstrom Pulse and just fight the Knight of the Reliquary War.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I mean, and that's kind of what Kurt did last game. I mean,
Right.
So I would think he's going to just stick to something fairly similar.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out momentarily.
So both players keep their 7s? Yeah, looks like.
And he's got double duress.
How lucky.
Goyf double duress, Windswept Heath, Aether Vial, Bayou.
Yeah.
Is that a Maelstrom Pulse? Yep. Brandon has...
certainly a disruptive hand if he can...
There's
wow, there's the solo Sylvan.
Yeah, it's almost like Kurt should have maybe duressed turn 1. Well, seems like... I guess he wants that Vial too, so...
Yeah.
That's pretty...
I mean, he also has Pulse for the Sylvan, but I definitely want to hold on to that.
Yeah.
And he sees a hand of Umezawa's Jet, Kasali Pride Mage, Thrun, Goyf.
I think that... So it's Pride Mage, Goyf, Thrun right there, I think.
Yeah, it looks like...
He cut the... he duressed away the Jitte.
Yeah, the only legal target.
Yeah, exactly. But still a pretty good target. I mean, Jitte's...
Yeah,
strong
Jitte
card.
would definitely manage his life total. And we have a second Aether Vial. Right, and so the way that Sylvan Library works is... The text on the card is very confusing. Basically, you get to top as... instead of drawing your card, you Sensei's Divining top and draw your card as one action.
Right.
And you can pay 4 life.
Right. You technically draw 3 cards.
Right.
But you have to put 2 back, is that... Or pay life.
Right.
Right.
But the thing is, you have to be able to keep them distinct because you have to put the 2 of the cards that you drew...
Yeah.
Right. Right. And Rashad brings up an interesting point. Yes, technically you draw the cards, and so if you brainstorm with that trigger on the stack, I don't know how that works. If you have to have a judge over to sort of confirm that you have to put... Well, that you're putting 2 cards back that you drew that turn. Right, well, yeah, you have to pay for each one that you keep, but who's to say that you're not putting 4 back that you didn't draw that turn?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's get a judge over here.
It can get a little confusing, that Sylvan Library card.
Meanwhile,
the general
Kurt takes
physical
care of it by
logistics.
just Maelstrom pulsing it.
Yeah. The general physical logistics look a lot like Sensei's Divining Top. Technically, though, Rashad is right. You do draw the cards.
So I think those vials are on 2 and 1, right?
Yeah.
He does have a Goyf.
So it's Goyf, Dryad, Arbor. Wow, Brandon looks pretty far ahead in this matchup. just based on his mana. I mean, Kurt has vials, but he hasn't done anything with them yet. His deck is very much a 2 and 3 drop deck in terms of where he gets value from Ether Vial.
And there he vials out of Goyf.
And Brandon casts Run and asks, what are your lands? Bayou, Savannah, Caracas, knocks out the black.
Alex, what's your record?
What's your record?
So, thank you.
Since Glenn rejected me, would you like one? Yes, please.
All right, so Kurt going in with his Goyf and taking Brandon, taking a nice little chunk out of Brandon's life total, a big 7 actually.
I had to try to combo all this.
Meanwhile, Kurt now I believe has either both vials are on 2, or one's on 2, or one's on 3.
Yeah, definitely 2 and 3.
Yeah, I would think so too. It's just they kind of look the same.
No real
No
value to
keeping them both
keeping
the
it
same,
on
right.
one. Ninja my Mother of Runes.
Yeah.
No, wait. No, it's just 1/1.
The only reason I said that was when I'm looking at the die, they both look like 2s, but it's a little bit fuzzy.
I think the one closer to the bottom of the
Yeah,
screen
it's
is
a
the
3.
3.
Yeah, me too.
So Run the Last Troll seems like a pretty good brick wall in terms of fighting a mid-range creature fight. It's not getting swords, it's not getting pulsed. You can block it with Tarmogoyf. If you attack into it with Tarmogoyf, it basically costs 2 mana to bounce him off. That's a Kabu Predator.
Okay.
And Violin
Guys,
Tarmogoyf.
call your name. Please report to the Silence area. Your EDH game is waiting.
Who's that?
That looks like a Mangara.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Huh. So I guess we only boarded in the 2 Duress, drew them both. So we probably cut the Kasali Pride Mages and nothing else from Kurt's deck.
So I believe so Kurt just passed the turn. Brandon, yes, empty-handed, is playing off the top. Yeah, Goyf War. Somebody just needs to Maelstrom Pulse at one of those Goyfs. Just one.
Either side.
Yeah.
Just watch the chain reaction.
Yeah. There's
Yeah, so pick my Mangara back up. This is going to be an interesting dance. Punishing Fire, Caracas, Mangara, Ether Vial on 3, and Kurt very wisely decides to engage fully in that war by upping the second Ether Vial to 3 so that he can Vial Mangara down twice in one turn, saving it from Punishing Fire while still ending up with it on board, not
Right.
summoning sick. So until Brandon gets a second Punishing Fire, it looks like Kurt's going to start pulling ahead in terms of that particular war. So Kurt's hand is Swords, Duress, Mangara. Are the Goyfs big enough to block Thrun?
I think they are, and that's
So
why
we
I'm
have land
confused, like-
instant, land sorcery, Punishing
thought
Fire
he
isn't
was
in the
a-
graveyard.
I want to say he's 6. He's like at 6 or 7.
Well,
which
no,
of
no, no,
course-
no. I mean, we don't have enchantments. Oh, no,
just-
we do. We
yeah,
do. We have Sylvan Library.
Sylvan Library, right.
So we at least have land.
enchantment, sorcery, instant, right? Punishing Fires is a...
Punishing Fire is the card face down on Brandon's side
never,
of the
yeah, it's
table.
not there.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to win a Goy 4. So here's an interesting dance, the second part of the dance. Kurt can't ever really get value out of Mangara so long as Punishing Fire stays in Brandon's hand and 2 mana are untapped on Brandon's side of the board. Because he can't ever activate it and then activate Caracas because it'll just get Punishing Fire.
Right.
But as soon as Brandon casts Punishing Fire, then he's going to KO his... yeah, there we go.
Oh, there, okay. So there was a duress for the Punishing Fire.
So tap it. Oh yeah. Now he has to keep 3 mana up, one of which has to be the Grove of the Burning Willows. Otherwise, again, Mangara starts working him over. A very interesting angle on fighting this
Yeah.
matchup.
Some crazy interactions. Yeah, but are you coming back? What? Okay. Drew, are you still doing this? Are you still sitting here
all day.
Well, you don't need to do it all day. Cool. We're gonna switch out just real quick so I can. You're good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Beyond good.
Kind of excited to watch it a little bit.
Let's stick around and watch man. All right. Back from.
So Joey went to go get lunch. Joe's back with me. We have an active Mangara, we have an active Caracas, we have Punishing Fire, I believe is the top card of Brandon's graveyard, although that's a lot of glare. Yeah. And it looks like Kavu Predator is going to die, all 3 Tarmogoyfs are going to die, and Mangara is going to end up in his hand. Or he's just going to bin his Tarmogoyf for no value. What am I missing here? He attacks with Tarmogoyf and Tarmogoyf gets double blocked by 2 Tarmogoyfs.
Right. So why did the
Why did Kurt bin his Tarmogoyf?
Oh, that's a good question.
No exalted creatures. Very odd.
You want to go stop the game and call a judge?
Judge is sitting right there. Apparently everything's kosher and we're the idiots.
Thomas Folks to the side fence area. Your EDH game is waiting on you. Thomas Folks, please.
Maybe the Goyf was dead from before.
Huh.
Because then he attacked after.
Yeah. Okay, so
Like maybe
activate my That makes more sense.
maybe he, I don't know. I mean, that seems weird, but
I guess just attack and make him block, bluff value, etc. Okay, so yeah, now we have Kurt somewhat conceding the Punishing Fire war.
David Shang.
Punishing Fire your Mangara. Get your Tarmogoyf. Oh, get your Kavu Predator, of course. And this looks bad for Kurt. He has swords, So
Catch Magic
it looks like he'll be able to bring the board to parity. What's the card all the way on the bottom of the screen covered by the logo?
There's I see a Pride Mage down there, and
Yeah.
a Noble. There is a Noble Hierarch.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's just completely obscured from view.
Okay.
So yeah, the Tarmogoyfs did in fact trade.
It's not a bad idea, actually. Alrighty. Punish and fire.
Right, so team comes in, Kurt blocks. Tarmogoyf on Throd. Swords the Tarmogoyf. Goyf lives, Thrud gets regenerated. And the board has reached an uneasy sort of parity. And finally,
It's funny.
I mean, that's because there are so many proactive cards in the sideboard of counterbalance decks. Yeah.
Like his opponent just went and not able to walk down your 6 cards at the top and go. Something like Mendel.
All right. Well, the sword comes down on the Goyf.
Yeah. Yeah, there goes the parity.
Yeah.
And it looks like...
Looks like he has lethal on board here.
No, because he swords it. So...
Oh,
Yeah,
right, of course.
So Kurt, he'll attack Kurt down to lethal on board. But whether Kurt really has outs is another question. He draws Knight of the Reliquary. That'll do. Why are you casting Knight? You have Ether Vial.
Does he have any other use for his mana? I mean,
Bluff value, tons of it.
true. But he can still bluff the sword, you know?
Sure. You can bluff, having, whatever else in your hand. Diabolic Edict. Players don't know each other's deck lists. Not necessarily Diabolic Edict, but sure. Block. He's Exalted Kurt. Boing.
Players, I just want to take this chance while we still have a lot of you in the room and thank you all for coming out to StarCityGames.com open weekend here in DC. We do hope to see many of you next weekend up in Edison, New Jersey. And just a reminder that our
Legend
second
rolls
schedule
Kurtz
has been announced,
Caracas.
including 2 dates that are right up the road in Baltimore in June and in October.
And that looks like
So make
game
sure
for
that you check
Brandon.
that out. Make sure that you join us over the course of the year. We hope to see you more over 2011.
Well, I guess Brandon controls the universe. And